Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have some exciting news for you guys. In the 2022 disc golf season, I'll be representing Truly Unique out there on the field. I'm super happy and excited, and I fell in love with Truly Unique last year, so I'm really thankful for the opportunity to represent them. And I thought it'd be a cool idea to show you guys a little bit about the inside of Truly Unique, maybe get to talk to Derek a little bit, learn about his story, what it's like to run a disc golf shop. I think that would be a cool little insight. So without further ado, let's hop inside Truly Unique and see what they're offering. What is your name and what do you do?
My name is Derek Broockerd. I'm the owner and operator of Truly Unique Disc Golf here in Belton. Truly Unique started in 2014, really kind of by accident. When I started, I was working for a child care service actually. They had to let me go. There just wasn't enough money coming in to keep me on board. So I decided to just kind of dabble in this as a side thing to kind of get me through till...
And that'd be like selling discs?
Or? Yeah, just kind of dabbling in. I had purchased some stuff from Dynamic, Latitude, West Side down at the Emporia warehouse, and I was going to dabble in that, bring in a couple extra bucks, you know, until I could find a job. The first couple weeks shocked me. They went so well. I was back at the warehouse in like 7 days unexpectedly, and I showed up and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, well, I sold out of everything I got from you last week. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah. So I did it again. It kept working. And eventually I was like, well, maybe I'm not looking for a job. Maybe this is a job, you know? It gave me a chance to stay home with my kids. I'm a huge family guy, so I kind of ran with it. And as you can see, it's turned into something a little bit bigger.
Right. What does a day-to-day activity look like?
So day-to-day activities for me can include checking an inventory, ordering from multiple manufacturers, loading a website, loading an eBay store, ringing out customers, possibly ordering apparel, dealing with I don't know, it's about a 15-man team we have out there across the country. Basically, all of that. We're only a two-person operation here, so I wear a lot of different hats.
So you... weren't even collecting or selling discs any time prior to 2014?
I would say somewhat collecting, kind of like every disc golfer, by accident collecting, you know, like, oh man, that's too cool, I gotta have it, that's too cool, I gotta have it, and next thing you know, it's kind of exploding. But no, not really selling at all.
Do you have a personal collection of discs, or do you have any rare or interesting discs yourself?
I do have a personal collection. When I started this, I was only distributing, like I said, Latitude, West Side, and Dynamic. So obviously that's kind of where my passion went for a lot of years. Currently, I would say I probably have, I would feel safe to say, the most extensive collection of Latitude, West Side, and Dynamic history in the world. Every year Dynamic actually, down in Emporia, actually hires me on staff for the DDO to put on an exhibit of my collection. So I've got everything from the original discs made by West Side to the original protos from Dynamic, and every step along the way from there.
Wow. So,
yep. If anybody wants to see that, just come down to the DDO. It's on Wednesday this year, but nice. we'll have it all on display.
Nice. So. Heck yeah. Has it always been named Truly Unique, or has it?
In the beginning, we didn't really have a name. I didn't know what I wanted to call it. What I would do is I would drive down to the Emporia warehouse every week, and I got to kind of hand pick things from the shelf. And generally those were cool, unique discs, right? Customers got to where they would request me looking for certain things, like, hey, can you find me a Black Pure with a rainbow stamp or something like that? And it sort of just evolved into, this guy has all the cool, unique stuff, and that's kind of where that came from.
Cool. So we're in a store with many different options surrounding us right now. How many manufacturers are in the store?
Right now, I think we're at 30 manufacturers of just discs. Obviously, we carry other things as well.
So you have 30 different manufacturers here now. I'm sure it didn't start as 30, so it slowly grew. What inspired you to keep adding to the curation of discs?
No, when we opened, it definitely started, Discraft, Innova, Dynamic, Latitude, MVP, most of the major manufacturers. I really don't have a great answer for what made me branch out to all those. I've always been a believer that you don't know if you like something unless you can put your hands on it in disc golf. With so many new manufacturers, I would have somebody come in and say, hey, do you by chance carry AGL? Or do you have any intentions of maybe carrying Lone Star? And the more I thought about it, I thought, there's so many brands that are just coming into this industry. Obviously, I want to see those brands grow. I want to see the sport grow. People aren't going to buy them if they can't put their hands on them, and there's not a lot of places to put your hands on those. You've got a couple major websites that carry all those brands. And obviously it's a heavy investment, and I see why most companies don't carry them. You're not going to move near the amount that it's probably worth in the end, but it provides a one-stop shop for people to come. If they can get their hands on it, maybe they do realize it's something they like or something they've never thrown, and it's something that maybe they want to add to their bag. Ironically, last year, one of my biggest sellers in this store was from a small brand. Like the biggest selling disc in my store came from a small brand. Wow. And it's a small brand that I know that disc would have never sold like that had people not been able to put their hands on it and touch it, and realize, hey, this is something that I like.
Yeah.
So I feel like it gives them a chance to grow their game, and it gives me a chance to help these companies grow so that disc golf keeps evolving.
Yes, I love that. Is there a smaller brand company that's really impressed you?
I would say Lone Star out of Texas. Their plastic has incredible feel. I've thrown a few of the discs. The flights are true to what they say they are, and they, I believe, are manufacturing their own stuff, which is kind of incredible, being a smaller company. Yeah. That's probably the one that's impressed me the most. There is a couple others that I'm really, that I think are doing great things, but of course they get their discs from more of a major manufacturer producing them. So that's probably the one that's impressed me the most.
Nice. What does the future of Truly Unique look like?
The future, some of the future is not stuff we really want to put out there quite yet. I think sometime in the next 2 years, you'll probably see an expansion of the building. As you can see, carrying this many manufacturers, you become very limited on space very quickly. We're still able to get everything out there on the floor, but now we're kind of limited on how many of each mold, so it's a constant restocking process all day long. I'd like to get it to the point where maybe I don't have to do that as often because I have more space. There's still companies and brands I'd like to carry that I don't, believe it or not. Yeah. And then the rest, I'm not sure how much we want to share yet.
That's right.
I'll just say this probably. So.
One thing that I really love about Truly Unique is you'll find the latest releases of discs. Especially in today's disc market, those discs will go out of stock in a minute to 5 to 10 minutes.
I'm very aware.
Right, yes. And you can always count on Truly Unique to maybe have those rare Paul McBeth drops or Ricky Wysocki drops or those exclusives that sell out so fast. One, you're able to carry those discs, and two, you don't overprice them like in the aftermarket. You keep them at that MSRP or somewhere around those ranges. How do you find those discs, and then why are you providing those discs at a reasonable price and not at the marketplace markup of like 60 plus a disc of some of those rare discs?
So
If that makes sense.
I spend a lot of hours dedicating time to staying on top of drops and making sure that, you know, whatever's going to drop or whatever comes out is something I can get my hands on. There's not always huge profit in that, you know. Some there is, some there isn't. I'm a big believer in what you can't make here, you can make up somewhere else. If I can't provide it to you, how are you going to get it?
Right.
You know, I mean, the average, this is my full-time job. As hard as it is to stay up on top of those drops, it's still easier for me than it would be for 200 or 300 of my customers, right?
Right.
They're at work, they're doing their jobs. I'm here doing mine.
That's
you know,
right.
I don't think anybody thinks they can sit at work and stay on top of every drop from every manufacturer. It's just, I mean, I missed 2 in 2020 that I went after on the first try, and I was not very pleased with myself. I felt like that my job was to get those, and I failed.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got them both on the second wave
Nice.
pretty quickly, and I don't think anybody even noticed I didn't have them on time.
Nice.
But I'm ratting myself out.
Yeah.
So I missed 2 of them. One was the Culling Thunderbird, which was a pretty big one.
Yeah, that was a big one.
And I knew it was going to happen. There was one night I was tied up with a birthday thing with my family, and I told my wife before I walked in, I said, they're going to drop these things tonight.
Yep.
And sure enough, it's like Annabelle was watching me.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, he's busy. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So, but yeah, it's hard. And there's, I mean, I would say from the average store's standpoint, I understand why they don't carry them, and I wouldn't expect anything less.
A lot of extra effort on your end.
It's a lot of extra effort. It's a lot of extra time. You're definitely not paid for that effort all the time.
Yep.
Like I said, my hope is that it's made up somewhere else.
That's right.
So
cool. Where can people shop Truly Unique Disc Golf?
So obviously, outside of the obvious, the store. Our store's here in Belton, Missouri. We have a full website. It's www.tudiscgolf.com. If you're looking for collector stuff, we do have a collectibles tab on there. We try to keep it plentiful. Obviously, if your prices are good enough on something that's valuable, it's not going to last very long. So if you blink, you probably missed it.
Right.
And then we do have an eBay store that we put some things on, especially if the market's, you know, extremely well on a disc where, you know, that maybe a niche type disc, you know, something that is marketed to just a handful of people across the country really want it,
right.
but the price is driven a little bit by it, and it's not a disc that you're going to want to just sit on your shelf, you know, collecting dust. Cool. So those are the main 3 avenues. We do have a Facebook group, trulyuniquediscgolf.com. That's the website, Truly Unique Disc Golf.
Yep.
In parentheses, it says Trilogy and More. It used to be just Trilogy. We had to edit it. You can't do a whole lot of changes once you hit 5,000 members.
That's right.
We had to just edit it to Trilogy and More. We do drop stuff on there all the time. We just purchased a big collection, and we're basically stack style dropping discs nonstop at the moment on there. That's where most of my major Trilogy followers are. It's where I started.
Facebook groups.
Facebook groups. Originally, I started dabbling in Facebook groups, and then thought, you know, what if I can captivate my audience all into one place by creating my own group? Right. And so I did, and I built that group. And that group now is honestly one of the only pages I have to use on Facebook most of the time. I do branch out from time to time to other pages, but you will very rarely, if ever, see a Truly Unique disc on an auction or something like that from us. We just, it's not necessary. One of our major goals with Truly Unique was, I probably should have brought this up earlier in one of your earlier questions, but there was a gentleman I bought from online, and he was doing something similar to what I was doing, going down to the warehouse, but he was doing it before I was, and he would always have really cool stuff, but he would price gouge you, and I hated that. You know, he'd pay, you know, $9 for a disc that was supposed to sell for 18, and because it was swirly and cool, he'd ask 25. And I know that's what the market's about. I understand that, but you don't have to do that. And so my goal was, hey, if I don't have to do that, why would I? Right. If I can get it for $9 and you can get it for 18, then It doesn't matter how cool it is. Why don't you get it for 18? Right. It's one thing to go cherry pick the shelves. It's another thing to cherry pick the shelves and still be providing them to the market at market price.
Right.
You know, I'm not a believer that you should go down and cherry pick the shelves and then price gouge them.
Right.
So, and that's what you see in here. You'll never walk in here and see me price gouge a disc, you know. You can walk in here at any given time and spend $300 and go to Facebook in an hour and make $500. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. Yeah. That's fine, you know. At the end of the day, we did our job. We got what we needed. We provided something to you. And if that extra $200 helps feed your family, I'll sleep very well knowing that. That doesn't.
It's out of your hands at that point.
That doesn't bother me a bit. I'm happy to know that you were able to make something. And hey, maybe you appreciate it enough that you bring that $200 back and you buy something else next time.
That's right.
You know? So it's a win-win, and I think it helps everybody.
A quick shout out to Derek for taking the time to do this interview with me. I realized that I didn't thank him for his time during the interview, so thank you, Derek. I hope that you guys enjoyed this interview, and even better news, I do have a discount code if you shop Truly Unique online and you find some goodies, which I know that you will. There's lots of goodies on that website. Use the code Babbitt2022 and you can save 5% on your order. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed and were at least entertained a little bit, and I'll see you next time.